Welcome back everyone to Montgomery County's Engage at Home. This series has been developed by the county's Caregiver Support Program. I'm Lylie Fisher, your host, and the purpose of these shows are to really help you during this time of having to stay at home to remain connected, healthy, and most importantly, fit and engaged. So, this show today is going to be devoted to introducing you to the county's Caregiver Blog. Now, normally, every month on the Caregiver Blog, we feature an incredible array of in-person events, support groups, education activities, etc. But as you know, we are not having those sort of in-person activities, and all of our partner organisations sadly have had to cancel them also. In future episodes, we're going to be looking at some of the virtual programs that our community partners are offering. But today, I want to take you and look at a part of the blog that has remained the same, and that is our online and telephone resources, plus a couple of other areas that you may not have been as well aware of. So here is the county's Caregiver Blog. Now, to be honest, it does look like a normal web page. And the reason why we did that was that we wanted to have something that was easy to navigate. It's for those who are going to be looking for at the first time, it's easy to find. It's at moco-caregiver.blogspot.com. I'll also connect this on the Engage at Home page. So across the top, easy to navigate. When we would be normally featuring partner support groups, they would be there. Same with events. Those are generally in person. We're going to be featuring information today on telephone and online programs. I'm also going to introduce you to Caregiver 101, the journal, and our podcast series. You can sign up to receive a monthly reminder to go and visit the county's Caregiver Blog by just adding your email here. That will take you to the county's sign-in page, and do select our Caregiver Support Program. You can search by keywords for articles, stories, features that have been in previous editions. You can also connect to a whole range of resources available through the county, including our Caregiver Support Program, the county's Aging and Disability Services, our county's 3 minority health initiatives, Montgomery County Police's Alzheimer's and Dementia Outreach Program, the Alzheimer's Association Holy Cross Caregiver Resource Centre, and the Respite Program. There are many caregivers I know who are very interested in how do I stay connected with the diagnosis of my loved one? How can I get more resources that are specific to a disease? You click here, that will take you to an alphabetical listing of organisations based on diseases. A nice feature with blogs is that we choose labels that help people identify some of the themes that are in each blog. So if you scroll down this list, there you can discover maybe themes that you would like to continue looking at. And then down the bottom here, we actually have by year the different blogs posts that we have. So here in 2020, you can click and be able to view by month. Sorry for scrolling so quickly. In March, all of the different blog posts by title that we've featured. So back up the top, we all know that currently what we are experiencing is COVID-19, and we will continue to be putting regular posts both on the Engage at Home channel and on the blog to help keep our caregivers and their loved ones up to date with best practices, supports and resources in the community. Let's have a little look in the blog. Telephone and online programs, because they do not involve having to meet in person, they still will be happening. So just a simple click will take you to some of those programs. Let's have a scroll down and have a look at them. The Rosalind Carter Institute on Caregiving has an incredible array of supports and a big, rich back catalogue of recorded supports that they have had as programming. The Stroke Back Centre, also for those who have experienced stroke or are caring for someone, has virtual groups. I'm not going to stop at each one, I'm just going to scroll down. Caregiver Teleconnection. The Caregiver Teleconnection is one of my most favourite telephone resources. They don't just have things that are about caregiver support. Really what they are, and I am going to click on this because it's too hard to resist. They also have programs that are, really also based on keeping people well connected. I'll have to correct that error. So another favourite of mine is Covia, also part of the Well Connected network. They have lifelong learning programs. From the comfort of your home, you can participate in a lifelong learning class. The Alzheimer's Association has its regular telephone connections. Just going to scroll down quickly. So does Holy Cross. They have telephone and I understand some web chat. Once again, Covia. So please take the time to visit the Caregiver blog and have a look at our various telephone and online programs. Caregiver 101 is a new series, and the goal of that is to introduce caregivers and those that may become a caregiver to ways of thinking about how to be prepared. It's very easy to say, well, one day I will care for mom or dad or a relative or a friend, and I will deal with that when it comes time. What we have found is that the people who are well prepared are the ones who have a lower stress level. They are more able to connect promptly to resources. They are less harried by such things as wait lists. And most importantly, they're more able to juggle their day-to-day responsibilities, other activities that they would like to have in their lives, and do it with less stress. Announcements tends to be more about things that are happening on an everyday basis. Our journal is where we have articles, both research and other, that really help those that are caring for a loved one to gain perspective and information about the journey that they're on. I'm going to take you now to our podcast tab. We have been, for the last 13 months, offering podcasts that are about 30 minutes long and help our local listeners gain information and resources on how to stay connected in a very easy way. And from the comfort of your own home, you can listen on a computer, on your phone. I'm not going to tell you about each one, but I'll just tell you how to navigate it. So in April, we're going to be publishing episode 15 and 16. They're listed with the most recent at the top. And all you have to do is click the button here, that's the arrow, and you will be able to listen to one of our episodes. I'm going to choose to play a very brief portion to our layered approach to caregiving. The reason why I'm choosing to do that is that for many folk, they are now caring for their loved one full-time at home. And maybe up until now, their loved one was able to participate in an adult day centre and sadly may not be able to due to closures. They may also have been able to have more aides coming to the home. So it means that we will have caregivers in the community who are caring for their person at home and may be worried that they can't care for that person all the time. They may be scared that that loved one could slip out of the house. So let's have a little listen to my interview with Officer Lylie Reyes, and she is with Montgomery County's Autism, Intellectual and Developmental Disability and Alzheimer's Outreach Program. So as I said, you just click on this button.
The Autism, IDD,
You are listening to Montgomery County's Caregiver Podcast. And now here's your host, Lylie Fisher.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here today with Lylie Reyes from the Autism, IDD, Alzheimer's Dementia Program. Lylie, would you please fully introduce yourself and tell us more about the program?
I'm Officer Lylie Reyes, and I've been with the Montgomery County Police Department for 23 years. And the program I run is pretty spectacular. It began in 2004 because we were having so many what we now call missing at risk calls for service. So we average about 3 to 8 a week. But what we found was we needed to do more. So we needed to do more than just respond to the calls, and that's kind of how the program developed.
Thank you so much. So tell us about the program, its history, and who it serves.
The program, as you can tell, has a very long title, but those are the individuals that we serve, individuals with autism, intellectual developmental disabilities, Alzheimer's, and dementia. And as I mentioned, it did begin in 2004 to address the sometimes overwhelming calls we receive for individuals who have wandered from safe locations. So the program provides a very broad approach and very layered approach to safety, general safety and wandering safety. And that begins with education of our officers, individuals, the community, outreach, which is limitless, follow-up, meaning that we do try to be very proactive, but in the event someone has an incident, we follow up almost immediately, that same day, if not the next day. That entails officers sometimes going out to the home or making contact. And we have our empowerment piece, where we utilize individuals who may be impacted themselves or have other loved ones that may be impacted with Alzheimer's, autism, other intellectual developmental disabilities. And then lastly, we have our response piece. And that's where we have our officers that are trained, that respond to incidences of crisis and or incidences of someone who is missing. So we have quite a broad approach here at Montgomery County.
I fast forwarded the podcast and I'm going to let Officer Reyes have the closing words on what to do if your loved one does go missing.
I think I'd just like to stress again that so often we hear, well, I didn't want to call 911 because I didn't want to bother you, or you only call 911 if your house is on fire, or I thought I had to wait 24 hours. So just to have the opportunity to say, call 911 if you feel like you should. If your loved one is in crisis, if your loved one is has wandered or eloped, that you're not alone. That's the message that I'd like to leave your audience with.
And that's an important piece of information. Our caregivers are going to be a little bit more under stress than they were normally. And I want to encourage you to remember what Officer Reyes says, that if you become aware that your loved one has wandered, call 911 immediately. All of our police officers have been trained and they have the ability to promptly send out multiple squad cars to start looking for your loved one. Don't get in the car. Don't start trying to look for your loved one yourself. Please call 911 so you can be reunited with your loved one promptly. So that is the podcast part of the county's webpage. And as I mentioned, we're going to have 2 new episodes coming out in April. Each one is about 30 minutes long and they're easy to listen to. You don't have to do anything special. You just touch on the arrow to get it started. And you can listen to these for free 24 hours a day. So before we go, I would like to just take you into Montgomery County's Caregiver Support webpage. For many folk, you are going to be needing resources and support that previously you didn't have access to, and now you do. They are all here on the website. Everything that we have published, everything that has been made available, we have put the effort over the last couple of years to have everything up here on the website. The easy way to go to that is through the blog. It's just a simple click, or you can go to Montgomery County's main webpage, and there you will find us on the senior site under caregiving. Whilst you're on the senior site, you can also get information about transportation for older adults, tax and finance assistance, senior housing, safety, recreation, health, and so much more. Montgomery County is here for you, and we will continue to provide you and your loved ones with support during this period. So we've reached the end of this show. This has been a lovely episode to be giving you more information. This is Engage at Home, Montgomery County's Caregiver Support Program. If you do require immediate assistance, please call our Aging and Disability Services on 240-777-3000. Thank you, be well, and keep safe.